good, the bad, and the odd. They seem to talk about everything.
Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Odd. We're your hosts, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
Right, so Star Wars is back on the agenda for us. We're covering the season 1 of Rebels. And I think we're aiming to kind of get through these before the next Star Wars film, right?
Yeah.
So we're pushing it. We're pushing it, but we... what are there, 4 or 5? I can't remember now.
There's 4 seasons.
4. Isn't there also...
But they keep getting longer and longer in episode count. So.
Yeah, okay. Isn't there also a Clone Wars new seasons?
There's going to be one.
Okay.
I don't think there's any confirmation on when.
Okay.
So far,
and of course, The Mandalorian will be out at some point, won't it?
Yeah.
So we'll see. And also, there's a big Star Wars game coming, isn't there? Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Which I read a little about. It's going to be a single player.
Yep.
A story, not a multiplayer. Because everyone was thinking it might be multiplayer because the studio making it do a lot of multiplayer games, but no, it's going to be a dedicated story kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, the thing is, EA have been... It basically got to a point, at some point, either last year or the year before, where they handled the release of Star Wars Battlefront 2 so badly, they, from rumours, say that they almost lost the license.
Well, they're not making this game, are they? That's for sure.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, is Respawn part of EA?
Yeah, they're under EA's banner.
Didn't realise that. But, I mean, they are their own thing, aren't they? And they're quite successful. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, let's go with this. So, this season 1... first aired from October 2014 right through. This is in America through to March. I don't know if it was. I mean, these days often they're all at the same time, aren't they, to stop piracy?
Yeah.
So there might be a bit of that, and it consists of 15 episodes, but the first 2 are like one long episode.
Yeah.
So. As far as I'm concerned, I've watched 14 episodes, but there are actually 15. It's set 15 years after the Emperor's taken over. Is that right? Something like that. So it's before Star Wars: A New Hope.
It's 4 years prior to A New Hope. The series pretty much go like It's roughly a year per series. So
okay, I see. I'm with you.
Like they offhandedly reference amounts of time, like during the show, like, hey, we did this a few weeks back, and that'll be like the episode prior. So
okay, right. So there's jumps between each mission, as it were.
Yeah,
there is a lot of mission stuff. You know, doing a rescue or doing a robbery or stuff like that in this throughout, isn't there? There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
So, and it's set in a unit, where the Galactic Empire are still hunting down the last of the Jedi Knights because they don't want. There's the seeds of the rebellion going on, right?
Yeah.
Hence the name. It did start with a series of shorts to introduce some of the characters, which I didn't watch. I haven't watched those. I think there's 4 or something. 4. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, there's like little bits of every character.
Yeah.
So. They're okay, but they're short.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't watch them, but I did watch the whole season. We're talking about it, so obviously I did. The showrunner seems to be Dave Filoni. Seems to be.
Yep. Which we have watched his work before.
What's he done?
Avatar.
Okay. Oh, which one? The Airbender? Oh, okay, that's fine. Oh, great. I thought you meant the James Cameron one.
He was director.
Okay, well, Avatar's really good. Really good. Right, so you've watched this before. This is my first watch. Should I tell you what my impressions of it first, then you can tell me yours. But I will ask you how you first came to it and stuff like that. But I'll tell you mine first. I quite liked it. It was similar in some ways to Clone Wars. It felt a little more orientated towards children than Clone Wars. Yeah. But I have been thinking on this, and Clone Wars, I do remember in the early days of Clone Wars, they were kind of more kiddie oriented, some of the episodes anyway.
Yeah.
And the CG was looked deliberately simpler as well. It looked way more primary kind of CG.
Yeah.
Which again would suit if it's for children. That might be why. There was nothing wrong with the CG. I'm not saying it was bad or it's primitive. It was just done in that style. Right?
Get this. A lot of the character designs and stuff, they're all based off the original Ralph McQuarrie artwork
Okay.
for Star Wars.
Nice.
So
That's a nice touch.
Zeb, his design is based on the very first designs of Chewie.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the original Wookiee sort of designs, wasn't it? Yeah,
and they allude to it a bit. So
yeah, because they say don't they say he's a shaved Wookiee at one point or something? Or all his hair fell out. They actually say that, don't they? I do remember that. Wookiees feature prominently in this. In the first, is it the first episode? They certainly feature prominently somewhere. Yeah, it's the first one because they want to slave Wookiees. Not a great idea.
No.
So it's. So I thought it was that, but I did like it, and I quite enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it more as it went on. Some of the fights felt they had no weight because people were getting hit with lasers and nothing was happening to them if they were the good guys.
Yeah, the fights aren't up to the same caliber as Clone Wars, mainly because, and they do talk about this later, Stormtroopers are really dumb, so.
They're just terrible shots.
There's a bit in the second episode where they cannot hit C-3PO standing in an open field. So
that's like me when I play video games, though, right? I should be a stormtrooper. Okay, so I did like the Jedi fights, though.
Yeah, all the lightsaber stuff was really good.
The lightsaber stuff was good. It was more, and some of the running fights were really good too, and quite exciting. And some of the dog fights I liked.
Yeah. I really do like the Ghost design.
The Ghost, the Ghost is the ship of this thing, and they've got a subcraft called the Phantom. Is that right? I've got that wrong.
All their call signs and such are named after various sort of spirits.
So. So I quite liked it. So when did you come to this?
I came to this about 2015.
So about a year after it came out, or something.
No, 2016 rather.
So a year and a bit.
I started basically right after the second season had finished. So I'd avoided watching it because I saw promo pictures and it had Ezra Bridger with his weird lightning slingshot, and I was like, oh, that's pretty bad. And then there was Sabine with her bright orange Mandalorian armor, and I was like, but that fits in more with that character, and Ezra's slingshot gets destroyed pretty early on. So
his slingshot again looked like it was something for the kiddies.
Yeah,
that they could.
I can almost guarantee that was a toy at some point, and then
I'm sure it was. So. You obviously you've watched all 4 seasons already?
Yes.
Okay, so this is at least the second watch through for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you probably know some of the stuff to come that may inform some of the stuff in these episodes, which I am not aware of, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I should say we're going to spoil stuff. It's not major, but we will be spoiling stuff. So if you've got any intention of watching this and you haven't, you may not want to listen on. You may want to skip this one. But if you've watched it or you've got no intention of watching it or don't really care about spoilers, carry on. Please do. Okay, so the backstory is there's a crew of the Ghost, which is Kanan.
Yep. Kanan
who's
Jarrus.
A Jedi. It's Kanan who's like a Jedi. Had some Jedi training. He's got a lightsaber.
Yeah.
There's Kanan Jarrus. There's Sabine Wren, who is a young girl, but she's a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And she's got the Mandalorian skills. Right?
Yeah, but no jetpacks, so.
No jetpack, but she has got the helmet, but hers is kind of purpley, isn't it? And stuff.
Yeah.
It looks way too big.
There's Zeb, who's this big thing called a Lasan, who's the previously mentioned Wookiee-looking guy.
He's got big eyes and pointy ears and looks kind of evil, and he's got very dexterous feet, and he's strong, big and strong, right?
Yeah, big strong guy. He's got this particular thing called I think it's called like a bow staff or something.
Yeah, Well, it's like
Yeah.
the some of the stormtroopers fight
bow
with them.
rifle. Yeah.
Oh, it's
is
got a
what it's called.
rifle, but it's also got
No.
stuff.
It switches.
Oh, I didn't realise that. Okay.
Yeah.
But it does the electric-y things at each end, doesn't it? That we
Yeah,
saw
like
in
the old Magna Guard.
that we saw in
Clone Wars and
Clone Wars. And one of the movies, a couple of the movies,
Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, Revenge of the Sith. So he rocks that, and but they've also got a pilot and she's called Hera.
Hera Syndulla.
And there's also a droid, a very, very feisty droid.
Yeah, who? Hera Syndulla, we have actually encountered her family before in Clone Wars.
Really? Is she
Yeah.
a Jedi? Is a
Do you
Jedi?
remember that they spent a whole bit on, where is it? Ryloth. And there was a General Syndulla.
Vaguely. Oh, not
Yeah.
really.
That was her dad.
Oh, okay. So Hera's in this as a pilot. She's a pretty good pilot, and there's also a feisty little droid. It looks a bit like an R2 unit, but not quite the same. It's an astromech droid.
Yeah, he looks like an older version of Astromechs.
Yeah, and
He's called Chopper.
Chopper. Sometimes they call him Choppy, right? And he's called
Yeah.
that because it's C1-10P.
Yeah.
So that looks like Chop, right? So
Yeah.
he's called Chopper, and he's proper stroppy.
He's a complete psychopath.
He is a psycho. He'll kick people out. At one point, they're trying to be nice to this droid that's helped him, and he just boots him out of the ship, right? He
Yeah.
just pushes him out. And then finally, this is the main crew, but they encounter in this first episode someone who becomes part of the crew, whose name's Ezra Bridger.
Yeah.
He's an orphan from an
Yeah.
outer rim world. And Kanan can kind of detect the Force in him. There's a bit of that.
He's
in
basically Space Aladdin. So,
yeah, definitely, yeah. So they're doing some deal about stolen rifles, aren't they, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And they realise that Wookiees have been enslaved by the Empire, and they decide they can't put up with this. Now these guys are kind of smugglers, stroke rogues, but they're also
they're your Han Solo type.
yeah, but they're also rebels. They do not like the Empire, do they?
They work for it's not even like an overseer. It's sort of like someone running a dead drop, almost, called Fulcrum.
Fulcrum, yes. So, but they don't know anything about Fulcrum or about
Only
any
Hera
other
knows
rebels.
anything about her.
Yeah, and they kind of don't say anything. Yeah, okay. So Ezra gets saved by this crew while they're doing stuff, and during the rescue, we see Kanan draw his lightsaber. It's kind of a shock, isn't it? He draws a lightsaber
Yeah.
and starts fighting. So
They start like barking orders at each other, and he's like, "You're gonna let me in on secret?" And Kanan says to him, "Goes, kid, I'm gonna let everyone in on secret."
yeah,
Jumps
nice.
over these boxes they're in cover and just pulls out this lightsaber.
Yeah.
I do like the villain, Officer Callus. His reaction is just focus fire on the Jedi.
The Jedi.
Like, just complete shock in what he's seeing.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. We don't see the main villain yet in this one, do we? Who's called the Inquisitor.
He's arguably he's not even a main villain. So
Yeah, that's true. But he is the Force villain, right? He is the Force main Force villain in this. Anyway, that's how that starts. And then they take him on, right? And Caden's kind of says, I'll train you. Now, I don't want to go through every episode by episode, but there's this thread of Kanan trying to train Ezra. But Kanan's kind of realises his own shortcomings, doesn't he? He's not that confident either. And we get a lot of callbacks to the Star Wars universe. So I still will go through the episodes, but I just wanted to sort of make that point. So essentially, they're doing these jobs, A, to survive, and B, to mess with the Empire. But also, Kanan wants to train Ezra in the ways of the Force, right?
yeah.
Okay, so the second episode, we get C-3PO, who turns up in everything.
Yeah.
And R2-D2 as well.
Yeah. And also, at the very end, Senator Organa.
Senator Organa, who owns these
Bail
two
Organa.
droids, right?
Yeah.
Bail Organa owns these two droids. So Leia's stepdad, right?
Yeah.
Who we know is involved in the rebellion anyway, but it's kind of more explicit in this series that he kind of is. But it's interesting that they have to rescue these droids and take it back to him. But there's a thing at the end where he says, "I hope you're recording everything." So he kind of, it sounds like they almost set it up so that they could observe this crew, rather than it's for its own thing. So
we do get a bunch of backstory about Zeb in this episode, where they find they basically have been hired to steal a bunch of rifles, that the special rifles that the Empire has been doing, that are like, they can take out droids like really easily, but they're like weapons of mass destruction when used on like organic targets.
Yeah,
and they were used on Zeb's people.
And Zeb's really doesn't like all this, does he? There's that. There's a big fight.
They basically wiped it. The Empire's wiped out his species.
Yeah. Yeah. So there is a big fight between Kallus and Zeb.
Yeah.
But Ezra,
turns out Kallus ordered the use of the weapons on the Lasar.
Yeah. So Zeb's proper angry. But Ezra actually uses a force push, doesn't he, in this episode? So he's got a touch of the force, which kind of alerted him there's more than one Jedi maybe out there.
Yeah.
And then it ends with them returning the droids. And as I say, Bail Organa says, "I hope you're recording everything." So that was cool. Yeah, that was fine. I didn't find any weak episodes in this set, to be honest. I thought
there were a few that were like a bit too one-offy. Like the next one, Fight or Flight. The only real takeaway from it, in terms of the greatest story, is that they now have a TIE fighter. But
this was kind of a comedy heist one, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah.
It was a lightish one.
Yeah, because they've been messing around on this ship. Ezra and Zeb have to go find fruit that are not actually on the planet. Yeah,
they basically to get. Is it Hera? Wants them out of her hair.
They really tick Hera off.
So she gets us some Melaroon fruit. Melaroon fruit, which should be an impossible job, but they go looking for it, and so it keeps them busy. But in the meantime, they somehow hijack a TIE fighter and steal it. And then at the end, they say, "Oh no, we destroyed it." And they say, "Oh, that's good." But they kind of look at each other. And I remember saying to you, what's this episode about? They just looked, and you said, I'll come into it later. And it does. So that's fine. So they've got a TIE fighter stashed, basically.
Yeah.
But it does also bond Ezra and Zeb. So that's probably about in terms of long arc, that's all this episode does. The TIE fighter and bonding these two, because they're a bit more friendly after this point. Because Zeb's quite aggressive to him in the first.
Yeah, he's just quite aggressive generally, but he's calling them sort of like snot nosed sort of thing.
Yeah,
he's just generally treating him badly at every opportunity. So
fourth episode is interesting because he's starting his Jedi training. When I say fourth, it's number 5 officially, but it's the fourth complete episode. Yeah. It's called Rise of the Old Masters. So he's trying. Is this the one where he says, "Do or do not, there is no try"? And Ezra says, "What the hell does that mean?" And he goes, "Don't really know." Master Yoda used to say it, and I never really understood it either. Which is kind of, again, I think appealing to kids. It's like, I think that was funny. I think.
That statement has some importance. So
right. They think that a Jedi Master, Luminara, has survived Order 66 and is in a prison planet. On
a place called Stygian Prime.
Stygian Prime. So Kanan thinks, we need to rescue this one. If nothing else, she would be a better teacher for Ezra.
Yeah.
So they go to the facility.
Gets kind of pissy about it.
Yeah.
So.
He goes, "I don't want a good trainer, I want you." It's all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They get there and they find out that she's dead, and they somehow
she's been dead for years, and there's been some sort of force trap
on her bones, and it's a trap. Basically, it's a trap.
Yeah.
So they have to get out.
They get attacked by the Inquisitor. Jason Isaacs.
Jason Isaacs is the Inquisitor. Nice. He's an evil-looking dude. He looks like a human being that's evolved from a shark. Is the best way to describe him. I think he kind of looks like that.
If you're this species is actually in Revenge of the Sith. They're one of them's played by the gyrocopter captain from Mad Max.
Right. I like Bruce Spence. Yeah. He's got this really flash lightsaber that's kind of a bit like Darth Maul's one, except it's got a guard around the handle that's a sphere, and he can activate a thing so it becomes a big spinning lightsaber-y top thing.
Yeah.
So he can use it almost like a shield.
He just... There's a pretty good bit where he's just walking down a hall with it held out in front of him, spinning this thing. And they just don't really know how to get around it, so...
No. So it's pretty deadly. So they encounter him, but meanwhile Hera's waiting for him on the ship, and these weird beasts... Flying beasts kind of get attracted to the noise she has to transmit to block the sensors. So she says, well, I can't, she's like, I can't hang around here because these guys are just gathering. So she flies off, hoping that she can fly back in time. And they're like manta rays, but flying rather than...
Yeah, they're big flying mantas. But they get out to they get away, basically. The Inquisitor drives them off while kind of berating how untrained Kanan is.
Yeah, he's properly boning him, isn't he? He's kind of sort of saying, you learnt style 3 here, but you're over-relying on it. You must have learnt it from so-and-so.
Yeah.
He knows all about it, which is kind of sort of... It's basically a psych out, isn't it? It's like, I'm so good, I know exactly how you've trained and who trained you.
Yeah.
So you haven't got an hope. It's kind of all that business. But they do manage to get away by hook or by crook, don't they? Because isn't Zeb and
Zeb and Sabine basically set bombs all over the place.
Yeah, bombs is their thing, which is a good idea when you're a small force. What else do you do? And there's even a riff on the first Star Wars, I think, because they said, we hope we don't meet any I think we're lucky not to have met any stormtroopers, something like that. I turn around the corner, there's a load of stormtroopers standing there looking at them, which is a riff on the first Star Wars, really. I like this one. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good episode. Pretty dark episode, too.
Yeah, this poor Jedi bones are trapped or whatever. The next one is called Breaking Ranks, and basically Ezra goes undercover as like a trainee cadet, and there's a shipment of kyber crystals, isn't there?
Kybers.
The force transmitting crystals that they use to build lightsabers.
They use it to build lightsabers. They use it to charge the super weapon in the Death Star. There's a lot to do with kyber crystals. Yeah. So.
I mean, I have to just to mention, I'm chatting with Star Wars Heritage here. Kyber crystals were in
Shadows of the Mind Eye. Yeah,
Splinters of the Mind Eye were in this first official sequel to Star Wars, written sequel, which wasn't Empire Strikes Back. It was Splinter of the Mind's Eye by Alan Dean Foster, and kyber crystals are central to that. So this is like almost as old as Star Wars itself. This whole kyber crystals thing. Anyway, so he's kind of being an undercover student, but they have to do these assault courses. This reminded me a lot. There's one episode of Clone Wars where there's a troop training.
The Zeros, I think they're called. It's got like Fives and Delta and Echo, all that sort of thing. Sort of characters.
Yeah, it reminded me of that.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
they're having to jump on platforms and anticipate them, and while they're being shot at, and all this, that, and the other. And they have to shoot things to activate the platforms.
Well, it starts out the platforms are just moving. The next time they need to shoot stuff to get it to move. Yeah, and this is like a officer school.
Yeah,
they say it's stormtroopers, but they keep referring to them as cadets and saying that they'll be like put in high places, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it seems like an officer's school.
Yeah, there's. For sure. And one of them looks like he's sympathetic to the rebellion. One of the other cadets. And there's a bit of toing and throwing. And basically, Ezra has to kind of push one off just to make sure he gets in the top 2, because getting in the top 2 means they can complete their mission. It's that kind of business.
Yeah.
And there's quite a fun escape. I reckon it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Where at one point, the guy's going to come with him, but he says, "No, I'm going to stay because he wants to look for his sister." Because certain of the kids, I mean, this one, his sister was recruited and disappeared or something.
Yeah.
And he wants to stay there and find out. But that story doesn't go anywhere in this season, at least. So, so there is that. The next one is called Out of Darkness, and this one is basically their version of Pitch Black. The what's his name? Vin Diesel movie. Basically, aliens that attack once it goes dark, right?
Hera and Sabine basically end up stuck on a like an old Republic base where these animals have like taken over.
Yeah,
and they can't escape until the ghost arrives, which is quite a way out. So they basically set up barricades and funnel all these aliens.
Yeah, and shoot fuel tanks to blow them up. And even these aliens that are supposed to be scary, kind of friendly-ish looking kind of thing.
Yeah, they look. They got like big eyes and. They're not as like scary as some of the stuff in Clone Wars. So, yeah.
Is this the one where the Inquisitor comes to the base?
No, that's
a different one. It's similar.
So.
Yeah, that's similar. Yeah, so basically it's kind of Survive and a siege movie. This one, kind of riffing on that. So, I like Pitch Black. Right, the next episode's Empire Day. This one finds Ezra down because it turns out it's his birthday. Empire Day happens to be his birthday. Is this the one when we first see this senator that's broadcasting anti-emperor stuff?
Galen Travis.
Yeah, him. And he looks just like an actor called David Niven. Looks
kind of
exactly like David Niven.
That may have been intentional.
I'm sure it was. If it was,
this episode's kind of fun and dark because, like, you find out like an old friend of Ezra's parents, Rodian. So like Greedo, Sibo, he's wanted by the Empire because he had some sort of modification put on him, so that he could have information just sort of jacked into his brain.
Yeah, and he's got all these secrets.
If
right?
you've ever seen Johnny Mnemonic,
there's a bit of that, yeah. So. And it's also it sent him a bit mad because he can't kind of communicate properly.
Yeah,
it's kind of
communicate.
It's almost like seeing someone autistic, isn't it? Them trying to deal with
yeah.
It's such a because of all these cybernetic implants have affected him. But there's some talk about him knowing what happened to Ezra's parents. He knew Ezra's parents, so there's a bit of that.
Yeah, but there's a few like goofy, funny little Easter eggs, like when they were in the bar. There's a bit where you can see Palpatine's making a speech. And it's clearly not him as the Emperor. It's like him back in episode 2 or something. So, like, he looks a lot younger, so you can sort of go, there's the propaganda.
I see. Yeah, there was a bit of that.
We get to hear the Imperial's, like, I guess not national anthem, galactic anthem?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But it's like a cheerful version of the Imperial March.
Yeah, it's so weird. So there's that going on. Now he says, doesn't he say towards the end of the episode, he knows what happened to Ezra's parents and tells Hera, but she then doesn't say anything. And we don't see it, do we?
He tells her that he knows, but at that point they're like mid-chase. Like the Inquisitor's chasing them down in a bunch of ties.
Yeah.
And they've got to be on the run.
Yeah.
They find like a tracker device that's also attached.
They could track through hyperspace, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Called that ahead of The Last Jedi. They've also got... They figure that the Inquisitor can probably sense Ezra and Kanan. So they've got to go off too. So they'll go nowhere.
Yeah.
And they figure they'll go back to the that base where all the monsters were.
Yeah.
So they hide there for the next episode too. So
yeah. Yeah, because it's kind of a two-part, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what I was thinking of, because they go back there and they encounter the Inquisitor. Now,
And they just set the animals on him.
yeah, and there's a bit of flirting with the dark side, isn't there, with Ezra as well,
Yeah.
which is a bit concerning. But
He's able to get like a bigger one to attack.
great big one, massive one to attack the Inquisitor, who uses his spinning lightsaber to sort of keep away the beast.
Yeah.
So
It is kind of funny because Ezra picks up Kanan's lightsaber and goes to attack, and the Inquisitor just force pulls it out of his hand.
Yeah, yeah, he's very powerful as the Inquisitor. So then Sabine gives. They've somehow gone to his house and found a picture of his parents. So he gives. Sorry, Sabine gives Ezra the picture of his own parents.
Yeah.
And then they
Just as like a keepsake on the ship, so.
and then they go take Sibo to Fulcrum, don't they?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. The next episode was pretty good.
Next episode is Path of the Jedi. This is the Yoda stuff. We get Yoda doing talk or voice work. We don't see Yoda, but he's kind
It's
of
Frank
talking.
Oz, so.
Yeah, that was cool. They got some quite interesting original voice actors in this series.
Yeah.
So we get Yoda doing his stuff, saying, I didn't do it, you did it yourself, and all this. And he has to go to this temple and confront dark challenges. It's a bit like Luke under the oak, right? Or the tree.
Yeah. We find out that there is some sort of ancient Jedi temple on Lothal, which is the planet they're on.
Yeah.
And 2, it's like really big.
Yeah. So he basically has to go through these visions of Inquisitor killing Kanan and killing
and like
people.
the crew like talking down about him.
Yeah.
So basically, is kind of funny because he gets to the point where it's like, I know I'm in a vision. Can this please just stop? So
Yeah, it's definitely a touch of that, and I've seen that in other shows, where people realise they're in a sort of trapped in some sort. I guess Nightmare on Elm Street is is one. So there's a touch of that, or It, or something like that. But there's definitely a touch of that. But yeah, it's cool to hear Yoda talking, and he never identifies himself as Yoda, does he?
no, I think Kanan's just sort of like it tweaks who he is.
Yeah.
But that's
His voice is very distinctive, isn't it? For one
Yeah.
thing? Yeah. Okay, the next one's called Idiot's Array. It's got Lando and it's Billy D. Williams.
It's got Lando. Yeah.
Basically, he loses. Zeb loses Chopper in a some sort of gambling game to Lando. Of course, he
Yeah.
does.
It's Sabak. So
Yeah. So that means Lando says, "Well, okay, if you owe me money, you got to help me do this job."
yeah.
So it's a mission kind of episode.
Yeah.
Right? So he's basically trading something, I can't remember what, for a pig.
Yeah.
special pig that
he's
sniffs
buying
out.
a pig. Well, he says he's going to buy a pig. Then they get there, and he's like, "Yeah, so I bought you this lovely slave Twi'lek," and just points at Hera.
Yeah.
And we're like, "What?"
Yeah. And it's like, basically he says, "Trust me, just go along with whatever I say," doesn't he? And it's like, okay. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I
the
bought you a
escape
slave."
pods are this way. So
Yeah. So, do they end up still owing Lando, but they nick his fuel? But he already
yeah,
knows
they steal
nicked
all his fuel, and he's no Lando owes them.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
they nick
right.
his fuel, and then it cuts to him outside, and he's like, "Yeah, I knew they'd steal my fuel, so that's why I didn't pay them." So,
Yeah. And he keeps trying to chat the girls, doesn't he, as well, Lando?
yeah, which is sketchy because I don't know. Sabine looks like 14, maybe.
Oh,
So-
maybe we could have dinner over it. It's all that kind of stuff. It's Lando
Yeah.
all over, yeah.
And it's like current sounding Billy D. Williams, so he sounds like I don't know 60. So
Yeah, you can tell he's old, can't you?
Yeah.
The CG doesn't look old, but I mean, he must be 35 or something at this point, right?
yeah,
Anyway, yeah, that's Lando. Okay, yeah, that was okay. I quite liked it, actually.
yeah. The quote unquote villain of this one, as Morrigan, he is based on an old Ralph McQuarrie design for Jabba the Hutt. So
I didn't realise that. Oh, okay. Is that the one that they actually filmed and then they see
No,
Judy.
they had him design it, and then they were like, let's just make it a dude. And then
Yeah, it was more like a pig man, wasn't it? In the second version.
Then he was a slug. So,
Okay. Okay, so next one is called Vision of Hope. This is Ezra is doing his lightsaber stuff, but he kind of passes out, doesn't he, during the practice? And he says, "Did one of them hit me?"
He gets a vision while he's practicing, which somehow puts him in like a super mode.
Yeah.
So he's like able to deflect everything.
Right. But he has this vision of this senator that's meant to be on a rebel sympathizer, and they think they're gonna kind of trap or use the senator to trap rebels, and they kind of go along with it. And is this the one where Gaul turns out to be a traitor? It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
He's basically a plant. It's kind of weird to see David Niven in this kind of.
Yeah. It's kind of cool because he like quickly twigs on who Ezra's parents are, and it's like, they got taken. What do you think's going to have happened to them? And they like he gets outwitted by Hera, she gives him a gun, and he like starts threatening them with it, and then he goes to shoot them, and it's unloaded. So,
the old empty gun trick. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Fell straight for it.
Yeah.
That was cool. I kind of like this one. It was good fun.
Yeah.
And also kind of sets up a world where they can't really trust anyone.
Yeah.
But that doesn't get played up, really, having said that.
Nah, not really.
It's a very black and white, kiddie kind of story, this one. Felt one of the more kiddie-friendly ones. Okay, so the next one was Call to Action, where we get Grand Moff Tarkin, right?
Grand Moff Tarkin finally arrives, and he just smack talks every other villain in the show.
Yeah, he's a badass, isn't he?
Like he walks in, it's like, man, Minister Tua, this isn't going well, is it?
I expect more on all this.
Yeah, but our troops are unable to do stuff. And he goes, on that note, Callus, how's it going?
Yeah, right, nice.
It's like, and then Callus is like, no, but the Jedi is like, boy, imagine if we had someone specifically trained for hunting Jedi in terms of the Inquisitor. So
so what happens? I'm trying to remember what happens in this.
Tarkin executes the two joke villains that have been popping up every so often. So, in a very brutal manner, he has them come and like sit in front of his desk, and the Inquisitor walks behind them. So they're like and stands like between them, but also behind them.
Yeah,
and he just takes his lightsaber, holds it horizontal, and just pushes it forwards.
Nice. So they're done. So they want to try and catch Kanan, and they do, don't they? They basically capture Kanan, but he says they got to leave. This was very exciting. I really like this. I think
this whole episode is based around like attacking a communication tower.
Yeah, I thought
they're trying to send a message to the greater rebels as a whole. As it turns out, this is probably one of the most important bits to the foundation of the rebellion in terms of the greater EU, not just for rebels.
Okay.
Because like a lot of other stuff refers to people just suddenly got a message telling them to like fight.
That's cool. So, I think this is the episode where it really started to fly. And all the episodes from this point are really solid and feel like a step up, really, of what's going on in terms of stakes and stuff like that. So it's pretty good. They catch a Kanan. Kanan insists they leave. They try and rescue him. They don't succeed, but there's a lot of clever, kind of exciting stuff going on in this. There's air attacks and all the Jedi fights. And
it's Tarkin. He's a very smart fighter, so he's got them completely outmaneuvered at all points. So
that is very cool. It's very cool.
Yeah.
So they don't manage to rescue him, and they can't figure out where he's detained, can they?
Yeah. And then in the next episode, it has them basically doing a heist to try and find the information.
Yeah.
So,
And they're trying to plug Chopper into the... basically they kind of disguise Chopper as a droid, don't they?
Yeah.
For some reason, they say, oh, no, we can't do transmissions. We have to send droids as couriers now, which sounds
Well, no,
utterly ridiculous, but there you go.
They say it's more secure, but...
They could put it on a USB stick, right?
Yeah. I guess that's like... In the current scheme of things, that's kind of what they're doing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But what they figure out is if they can put their own version of this courier droid, so they modify Chopper to look like
Yeah,
one.
they give him a paint job.
He is properly angry about it.
Yeah.
But that's how it happens. Meanwhile, they've kidnapped this other droid. And they keep
helping them.
It starts helping him out, and Zeb sort of kind of takes a shine to him and stuff like that. Because we haven't mentioned Chopper is psychotic. There's all he attacks them. They hit him with spanners.
It doesn't help that he has some sort of like stun gun, so he just keeps shocking them whenever he gets bored.
Yeah,
and a few of the episodes are like you can go on the Wikipedia and read the summary, and it always starts with Chopper's antics caused blah 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 blah.
Yeah. So Chopper does all sorts of nutty things. Kanan's being tortured for info about rebels.
They're not shying away from showing that they're just electrocuting him. So
yeah, which is interesting given it seems to be kiddie oriented. That they got full on torture here.
I like Tarkin's response to it, where it's like, this guy doesn't seem to know anything. Carry on. And
Carry on.
walks off.
Yeah. So and they're gonna transfer him to a prison in Mustafar. Which again, Hera says, "Oh, that's where Jedi's go to die," which feels like kiddie logic as well. Do you know what I mean? It's kind
but
of
also remember, if you remember Rogue One, Mustafar was where Darth Vader's fortress was. So,
okay. So there is that. Okay, so it's a fortress. I should have mentioned we do see Darth Vader at the very beginning of the first episode, don't we?
Yeah,
sort of talking to people, but that's
telling Tarkin that he's needs to do a good job, basically.
Yeah. And then we get to the last episode, Fire Across the Galaxy. Cool episode. This basically because they got a TIE fighter. They can use it to infiltrate a base, but we find out is previously had a paint job. Was it?
They
Sabine?
gave it a paint job. Sabine, they just let Sabine have it.
So it looks all colourful,
bright yellow, and there's checkerboard patterns and
they're kind of looking at it like, we can't go in this. Because no, it'd be fine because they don't check the outside. They just want the transmissions. We can once they realise it'll be too late anyway. So they've got this very colourful looking TIE fighter to infiltrate this base. So they there's a great lightsaber fight in this with Ezra and Kanan fighting the Inquisitor, who kind of starts to get what he get as good as he gives in this one. Kanan seems to be a bit better, seems to be improving. So there is that. So now it's weird because it feels a bit like it's a rush of the dark side that helps him. Because once Ezra goes over the side, he actually beats the Inquisitor by chopping his lightsaber in half, doesn't he?
Yeah, the guy starts his spinning thing and he takes Ezra's lightsaber in his own.
Yeah.
And sort of just sticks it inside the ring and just pulls it out, which cuts the thing in half.
Yeah, it's kind of badass. So there was that, and the Inquisitor's kind of shocked. And then they get away with the Inquisitor's home TIE fighter, don't they, from this planet? Yeah. Is the whole thing blowing up? I can't remember now. Yeah, they're in
a Star Destroyer.
Right.
So they the whole thing's blowing up. They get out, the Ghost gets out, and Chopper shows up in a TIE fighter transport.
Yeah.
And with an entire rebel fleet with him.
Yeah, there's a rebel fleet. Yeah, and it turns out they're all the various cells of the rebellion or something. Yeah,
a bunch of them have come together. So Organa's there, and Fulcrum, who turns out to be Ahsoka Tano.
Ahsoka Tano turns up as Fulcrum, which surprised me, really. Mind you, I had no idea who Fulcrum's supposed to be. So, it's kind of, okay. So
it makes sense if you look at her logo. It's like her horn things. So
yeah, it does make sense. So we see, and also we see Bail Organa involved in the rebellion, the kind of stuff, saying they're a cell and they're working for a larger rebellion and all this, that, and the other. Meanwhile, Tarkin rocks up and he says, "Oh, I've got other ways
he's talking
to do
Callus.
this."
It's like, "Oh yeah, we got people for this," and Darth Vader just walks past.
Not a
he
word.
doesn't address them. He doesn't even stop. It's like a fade to black on Darth Vader's breath. So
yeah, so quite enjoyed this series. 16 episodes or 15 or whatever it was. It was they were fairly punchy, a bit kiddie, but otherwise quite a lot of fun. I quite liked it. I don't like it as much as Clone Wars, but I do like it. It's kind of an interesting alternative look at Star Wars, in the same way as maybe Rogue One was a different look, right?
yeah,
So I like this. I can see why you watched it, and I'm glad we have got around to starting this. I'm looking
Speaking
forward
of
to
which,
season 2.
the guys who made Rogue One apparently liked Rebels because there's a lot of like references to it. So
Okay, next time I watch Rogue One, I'll keep an eye out for that then.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm looking forward to see where this goes. The crew seems interesting. The characters seem interesting. It feels a bit Firefly, like a kid's version of Firefly. There's that to it, which is a good thing. Zeb feels like Jane, for example. It's definitely that connection. So it's kind of interesting. Sabine feels a bit like Kaylee, maybe. Maybe that's a bit of a push. Hera definitely feels like I've forgotten her. Inara. No, not Inara. The lady pilot.
yeah.
What's her name? Can't remember her name.
Wash's wife.
Yeah, Wash's wife. That's the one. I'll look it up while we're talking. So yeah, I really like this. I mean, what would you give this out of 10?
I'd give this set an 8.
Yeah, I
enjoy
think
this.
7, high 7 for me. 7 or no, that's not fair. 7, at least a 7.5. So I'm happy with an 8. And the lady we were trying to think of was Zoe.
Yeah.
So there was definitely a bit of a firefight, which is good in my opinion. Made me think, they should do an animated series as Firefly. I was thinking that. That'd be kind of cool. So I enjoyed this, and we'll get to the next one in a month, 6 weeks, something like that. The next one's got 22 episodes, so it's fairly hefty. But we'll see how we go. Okay then, right. So I think we went out there. Goodbye from me.
Bye.
We like to hear from our listeners at The Good, The Bad and The Odd, so if you have any thoughts on this week's topic or anything else movie or TV related, drop us a line at info@thegoodthebadandtheodd.com. Written or MP3 attached, we like both. We're available on Stitcher, iTunes and as an RSS feed. Just go to www.thegoodthebadandtheodd.com for links to these. Also, feel free to come chat with us by joining our Facebook group on www.facebook.com/groups/The Good, The Bad and The Odd, all as one word. Thanks for listening, and until next time on The Good, The Bad and The Odd.